it's Kate from Inkstampshare.ink, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I've got a lovely 5-minute Friday project for you today. It is made using the Painted Harvest stamp set. I've fallen in love with these sunflowers. I do love them. We grow them on our allotment. They're so beautiful, and this stamp set is just gorgeous. So this is the stamp set. It's like a watercolour effect in the image, if you can see that. It's a 2-step stamp. So you stamp this one and then the middle, and then the middle inside. I'll show you how I'm going to make mine. You can do all sorts of different colours and layer them up and get different flowers, but I'm going to show you how we make this one. So I've used pumpkin pie for my card base, and it's A4 cardstock, scored in half, cut in half and scored in half. And I'll put the dimensions on my blog for you to see. And this is a piece of Whisper White, which is 1/4 centimetre, 1/2 centimetre smaller all the way around. And then I have another one which is Whisper White also, and that's another 1/2 centimetre smaller, but they'll all be on my blog for you to have a look. Okay, I'm going to start off by stamping the first stamp, which is the larger of the stamps, in crushed curry ink. I've worked out which way up my stamp is. I've kind of identified one of the petals that I recognise, and I'm keeping at the top where my initial on my block is. I put my little initials on my block for when I'm out and about with them, so I know which way up the top is. And then I've got it's like a little W on this one, and that's what I've identified as my top of my stamp, so that I can then match up the second stamp that goes with it. Okay, I'm just going to stamp on the top here, just off the side of my card. Okay, and then to make my second match up a little bit easier, I'm going to stamp the centre next. If I can get it to stay on my block. And I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake. I've decided to use that. Now, I'm really going to hope I don't get my head in the shot when I lean over and try and line it up. So I do apologise if my head comes in. And there we go. It doesn't matter if it's not completely accurate either. It's not meant to be. There we go. And then I'm going to use the middle. This is the fun part where it starts to really look beautiful. I'm going to use the middle as... Oh, I've got ink all over me. In pumpkin pie. Here we go. So I've lined on the top of my stamp up where I want it to be. I'm just going to go straight over the top. How gorgeous is that? It's so beautiful. And to make a slightly larger flower, I'm going to go back in with my crushed curry outer flower. I'm going to rotate it and place it down, just to make a bit of a fuller flower all the way around like that. And it just is beautiful. So I'm going to carry on doing a few more flowers just the same. So here we go with the crushed curry. Make sure I've got it the right way up. I'm going to do one right in the middle. I'm going to do a few more. I'm going to do one off the edge. Another one right here. And then just fill in the edges and the gaps a little bit. I will have some gaps because I'm going to put some leaves in there. But just to make it look like it's coming off the page, you have a pattern. Every card will be different. So that's that one, and then I'm going to go in with my centres. You'd get yours lined up a bit better, but I'm very conscious that I'm going to stick my head right in the frame if I lean over. They do all blend in when you put the second layer on anyway, and it's not meant to be completely accurate. Right, that's that one, and then I'm going to go in this fun bit with the pumpkin pie. Love this. Just makes it look so beautiful. I've seen some beautiful colours. If you go on Pinterest, lots of people, if you just type in Painted Harvest, lots of people have been experimenting with different colours, and they've even put little tables up of all the different colours that have been used, so you can look at what works, what people like, choose your own combinations, different yellows, reds, oranges, even blues, making cornflowers and things. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to make my fuller flower. Sorry if I've got my arm in. So I'm just twisting the stamp in a different direction to the way I started, just to give more petals, if that makes sense. So beautiful. Right, okay, so that's the sunflowers done, and I have stamped one out in a really dark colour so that I can mask it off a little bit and do my leaves so they don't overlap all the images. So I'm going to bring in my other colour, which I've used for my leaves, is Pear Pizzazz, and I've got my leaves now. I've got mine mounted on a long block on both ends because I find that easier, but obviously just use the block that it works for you. So I'm just going to kind of match it up. It's not going to match it up completely because I've twisted it and made more petals, but it's near enough. I'm just going to pop some leaves in. And while I've got my mask on, I'm going to do the other side in the detailed petal, because one is the inside and one is the outside, if that makes sense. And just line it up. Yeah, you've got it. So yeah, just go around and do different places where you want your leaves to go. It's a very quick card. I might just do the outside this time before I do the inside and see how that works. Oh, that's pretty. Might be easier to line up this way. Not sure. Don't think it really matters terribly. It's more of an impression, but I think that's quite good. So I'll do a couple more. And then see how we like it. See some pretty cards done with blues with a sunflower, which is interesting, but it's really effective, looks lovely. So that if I just bring it off the side, so we fill in a lot of our white space. Missed a bit there. Oh, that's because the leaf comes off the edge. I didn't miss it at all. Didn't think I was that bad. Right, and I'll put one up there, and I think that's enough leaves. It's getting a bit cold around here now. Autumn's definitely here. I don't know what it's like where you are in the world, but it's definitely getting autumnal around here. I think we're having highs of about 15 at the moment. Not very warm. And I'm a summer person. Don't like the cold. I have a smudge on my card. I don't know if you can see it, but that's what I'm trying to cover up. But I'm not sure that I can. But I'm going to try, because we all do these things, and it's interesting to see if we can sort these things out. So just ink up one of the leaves and pop it on. Yeah, that's not bad. That's okay. Could be better. Right, let's go over it with that one. Let's see if that helps at all. We're all human, aren't we? There you go. Hey, we sorted it out. Okay, so I'm quite pleased with that, actually. That looks fab. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which on this one I have done I am thankful for you, and I love that. That's lovely. It's perfect for a thank you card. I imagine it's a set that's used a lot in America for Thanksgiving, but I didn't see it this way. I saw it as a thank you sentiment, for anything really. So yeah, I am thankful for you. There's lots in here that are perfect. Gather together and give thanks, but I really like that one. So I'm going to stamp it on a piece of white, a spare piece of Whisper White, because I'm then going to cut it out. So I am thankful for you. I love how these stamps always work perfectly. I'm just going to pop that out, I'll cut that out on the Big Shot with my Stitch Shape die, which I got already, and now I can't find. I bet you're all organised. Here they are, Stitch Shape dies. Get out the one that fits best. I love these. There's so many in the packet, so you've always got one that will match what you want. And I think it's this one. I think that one just fits perfectly. So yeah, I'm going to cut that out. I've got the Big Shot right next to me, so you'll hear it going through. It'll just make a bit of a noise. Sorry about that. It won't take a second. You know why it moved? On the die moved on the. I have taken my magnetic base plate out, and I use that all of the time. And you kind of get reliant on these tools, don't you? And I've forgotten. There we are. Oops. Okay, so I've got it, and it's these stitch dies, and they leave this lovely little stitched edge all the way around. It's beautiful. And then just to save a little bit of time, I have used the layering oval framelets that have scallops in as well to cut it out with a scalloped oval, just to fit behind their nest. So the I am thankful for you fits perfectly on there. So I'm just going to glue that on with my Tombow glue. And we're nearly done. It's not a very complicated card at all. It looks so effective. These sunflowers, I love them. They're really cheerful, especially when the weather's not so cheerful. Tombow gives you a little bit of room to move the pieces about. Just a few seconds grace before it dries hard. And it dries really well, so it's, it's secure. Right, there we go. So I'm going to put the layers together on my card now. I'm going to use more Tombow on the back of the large Whisper White panel. Pop it on there. Then I'm going to put my stamped piece on. I was practicing on the back of that. Waste not, want not though, eh? On it goes. Ooh. Lovely. Now, on my my card here, I've raised it with a couple of dimensionals, which is what I'm going to do this time. And I put a tiny piece of burlap ribbon down the bottom because I think it really goes well. I've actually cut some of the leaves out on this one and stuck them on, but I'm not going to do that this time, just to save time. But I've got a little tiny scrap of burlap and I'm going to use it underneath there because I think that looks really nice. So a couple of these little foam pads. that we love, just to put my sentiment on the front. And you can place it wherever you'd like on your card. I think I'll put mine there. And then I literally folded this in half. It folds really, folds really well, says me. And actually, let's take this off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put another dimensional here. And I'm going to stick it to that. So it does two things. It holds it in place. And it raises it up. I'm thankful. It might be a bit too sticky out. I'm not so sure. I haven't made my mind. Yeah, that's better. You don't want quite so much poking at the bottom. So I've got that. One layer of these dimensionals go through standard post in the UK with no extra charge, which is useful to know. You don't want really bulky stuff in on your cards costing you lots of money to post it. And then I've used some of these lovely enamel shapes, the silver ones, to go on there. They're like clear silver. You come in a pack with silver and gold. And I really like the silver ones on this card. And you can decide where you'd like them to go. I think I might put that one up here. There. One over here. Perfect. I'm having a bit of a bother with the back of this. I think that's sticking out. That's better. It was sticking out. There you go. That's our card done. Hope you like it. It's very pretty. I love the stamps. So do have a look on my blog. You'll be able to see the dimensions, how we made it, and more inspiration there for you if you like them. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so if you like any of the things you've seen, if you don't have a demonstrator, do get in contact. If you like a catalogue, I'm happy to send you a complimentary catalogue. If you like any of the products, do go to my blog and click onto my shop. It's all there for you. So I hope you've enjoyed it. So it's inkstampshare.ink. Thanks for stopping by.